The Debo Samuel signing was impressive. What struck me was Debo telling us that he was really happy that you guys reworked the deal. That meant a lot to him. What did that mean to you guys to be able to do that?
Yeah, it meant a lot. I think, one, you want your players to be happy, and, that was something that was important to him. And so it wasn't a huge restructuring on our part, but we gave him a little incentives. And, he's very, motivated, and he's going to be fantastic in this offense.
Sure.
So, if he hits those incentives, we'll be really happy about it.
I just finished talking to the AFC coaches, Mike McDaniel, and I mean, he could not be more positive about what you guys did. And he said, listen, when you have a head coach and a GM that are on that same page, it's almost impossible to not be successful. So for you, year one with DQ,
yeah,
you had preconceived notions coming in. What was the thing that struck you most about him?
Yeah, I think everything that I heard about him was true and more, and so being able to work with someone who's just so very like-minded, first of all, but so selfless, so cool, so understanding and respectful of what we're doing, and then being able to do the same thing for him, and we're on the same page in a lot of ways, and it helps. We're good buddies too,
yeah.
And that makes it so. Sometimes you have to have hard conversations. We haven't had too many,
right,
to be honest with you, and usually because we're mostly on the same page, which helps a lot. So I couldn't be more happy, I couldn't be more excited, and to be in this type of situation, as Mike said, it's rare.
Yeah.
It really is. And I've seen so many situations where they're not on the same page, and then this job's hard enough to do,
right,
when you are, and let alone when you're not, and you're kind of butting heads. And so I think we're thankful every day that we have DQ, and not just as a partner, but as our coach of our team and leader of our team.
When I walked in this room, I passed by your former boss, John Lynch.
Yeah.
Said, but now you're the guy. So what was this season like? I saw you on the sidelines, chest bumping guys, everything. I mean, what was that like for you?
I got to kind of calm that down a little bit.
A little bit, right? Just a little bit.
No, I get excited.
You go on the IR and we have problems.
I can still work on the IR. The guys can't, but well, that's what you do it for, right? Is the feeling of winning those games, and seeing the guys that they work so hard to do, day in and day out, week in and week out, and to have that come to fruition and get a W. That's really what you do it for. So it's fun to be a part of that, and having guys, the players that we bring in too, are just really fun to be around, and they love competing, they love working together. That brotherhood they created is really something special.
You brought a lot of guys in. This is so different than last year when it comes to the draft. Last year you knew, number 2.
Yeah.
You knew, even though you would kind of hedge with us, you knew who you were taking. Now you're further back in that draft. How different is the preparation for the draft this year than last?
The preparation is the same.
Okay.
You go through your process the same way. You look at everybody in the draft. You never know what's going to happen, obviously. We're not looking as hard at Abdul Carter. We're not, we're doing our due diligence, but we're not bringing him in on a 30 visit or something like that, wasting his time, wasting ours. So, but there's so much uncertainty of what's going to be there at 29. We knew we were going to pick at 2. We knew who we were going to pick at 2. So there was no trading back scenario. There was no trading up scenario at that point. So all those things come into play now, and so really get a chance to see. It's cool to see how many different players we think can really help us, and hear the scouts' passion about that, the coaches' passion about that, and really trying to find guys that are commanders. And that's always going to be what we're doing, is bringing in commanders. And so whether we pick at 29, whether we trade up, whether we trade down, whatever we do, our goal is to bring in a commander.
Terry McLaurin, getting a new deal done with him. I know you won't get into specifics, but you're the GM of this team. Why do you want to make Terry McLaurin happy?
I think Terry's earned that. And he's been earning that for a long time for this organization, long before we got here. So it's a priority, and we've had such a busy off season, right? We had 28 free agents, so we had to, in terms of going through that step first. And now we can turn our attention to that, and we're looking forward to it.
So a new year, you come in thinking what? You've had a chance to self-evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
That sounds redundant, self-evaluate yourself. To do that, and then this is fresh, you're in the league. What goes on here, by the way?
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
tell me.
all I see is bodies in the lobbies,
Yeah.
and people flying, coaches, GMs, owners.
Yeah, you're trying to get to the lobby as fast as possible. That's what goes on. But no, they're really important meetings that go on here. There's really cool discussions to be in the room. Last year, for the first time, being in that room, hearing the coaches, hearing the GMs, hearing the owners speak on really important issues that are going to really affect our game. You know, last year it was the kickoff. This year we'll talk about the kickoff a little more. But it's really interesting to hear the sometimes spirited discussions. Nothing's gotten in any fisticuffs or anything. But it's cool to see how passionate people are about not only their teams but our game as a whole.
And back to my original question. So you've had a chance to just take a deep breath on the season. Obviously, you're still grinding about the job, but when you look back at that season, what did you think?
Just proud of the team, proud of the coaches, the staff, the players, everybody, and how everybody bought into what we were doing. That's not easy. It's not easy to get everybody to buy in, and DQ did a fantastic job of creating that atmosphere. And so, just proud of what we accomplished, but knowing that that's not the ultimate goal.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
All right.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
bud.